Welcome to the Old Age Health Channel, which brings useful information and meaningful sharing to help you enjoy a healthy and happy life more fully every day. Let's explore with us the secrets to maintaining health, improving spirit, and living optimistically in every stage of life. Did you know that Mr. Henry, a 71-year-old man, passed away in his sleep last night? His family was shocked. Just a few days ago, he was still healthy, showing no signs of anything unusual. A normal evening like every other day, no warning signs, no goodbyes, but the next morning, he never woke up again. What really happened? What was the reason that made Mr. Henry suddenly pass away when no one expected it? And most importantly, is there any way to prevent tragedies like this? The truth is that after the age of 70, the human body undergoes many changes that not everyone realizes. What used to be a harmless habit when young can become a threat. Secretly silent to health in old age, especially some seemingly simple habits before going to bed, can significantly increase the risk of stroke, myocardial infarction, even sudden death in sleep. The scariest thing is that many elderly people are making the same mistakes every night without knowing it. Think about yourself or your loved ones. Do you often find it difficult to sleep, wake up many times during the night, or feel tired the next morning? Without knowing the reason, it could be a warning sign that your bedtime habits are silently harming your health. In this video, we will explore 4 nighttime habits that people over 70 need to avoid. These habits may seem small or even harmless, but in fact, they can directly affect the heart, respiratory system, circulation, and sleep quality, thereby increasing the risk of health problems. Seriously, you may be surprised to realize that you have maintained one of these habits for many years without ever thinking about the potential harm of it. But don't worry, the good news is you can't totally change, just small adjustments. In the evening routine, you can protect your health, improve sleep, and wake up every morning with a body full of energy. Be sure to follow until the last minute, because the last habit is what most seniors still do every night, without knowing that it can push them into extremely dangerous situations. And more importantly, we will guide you how to change to have a safer and healthier sleep, to help you live longer and healthier every day. Now let's start late at dinner, and twofold habit that seems harmless but has many hidden risks. Have you ever heard the story of Mr. Matrafia? A 73-year-old man still keeps the habit of eating late at dinner, like when he was young. He usually eats the main meal around 9 p.m., enjoys a plate of rice full of meat and fish, sometimes even nibbles on a few snacks before going to bed. He thinks that as long as he can still sleep, then there is nothing to worry about. But in reality, not so lately. He often wakes up in the middle of the night because of a burning sensation in his stomach, and sometimes has a persistent cough that he doesn't know the cause of in the morning. He feels tired, lethargic. Even though he gets enough sleep, the habit of eating late at night seems harmless, but when he turns 70, the body no longer processes food the way it did when he was younger. The metabolism slows down, the digestive system works less efficiently, and the time it takes to break down food in the stomach also takes longer. That means if you eat too close to bedtime, the stomach will have to continue working when it should be resting. The result is interrupted sleep, the digestive system is overloaded, and most importantly, cardiovascular health can be seriously affected. What happens when you eat a large meal right before bed, when you eat a full meal, and then go to sleep immediately instead of focusing on the body's regeneration and recovery process? Your digestive system has to keep working, your stomach produces more acid, your intestines are overworked, and your heart rate remains shy when it should be slowing down to help your body rest. This can lead to acid reflux when you lie down. Right after eating, your stomach can't hold the acid in the right place, causing it back up into your esophagus. This is what causes the burning sensation in your stomach. It can even cause coughing and choking at night, disrupted sleepify. You've ever woken up in the middle of the night with an upset stomach, nausea, or an abnormally fast heartbeat? It could be due to poor eating habits, increasing your risk of heart attack and stroke. Eating too late not only increases your blood pressure, but also makes your circulatory system work harder. At night, increasing your risk of heart attack and stroke while you sleep. Fat accumulation and metabolic disorders if you're diabetic or at risk of diabetes. Eating late can cause blood sugar imbalances, making it difficult to regulate blood sugar while you sleep. Studies show that older people who eat dinner too late are at higher risk of metabolic disorder, RS, which increases the risk of cardiovascular disease and stroke. Imagine the case of a 70-year-old woman who has a habit of eating late at night before going to bed every night. She often drinks a cup of hot milk with a slice of bread, thinking that this will help her sleep better. But in fact, she often wakes up in the middle of the night because of a feeling of fullness, indigestion, and sometimes chest pain. After going to the doctor, she was advised to change her dinner time and avoid foods that irritate the stomach before going to bed. After just a few weeks of applying this, she slept better, woke up less in the middle of the night, and felt more refreshed in the morning. So what should you do to help your body digest better and reduce the risk of health problems at night? Follow these principles. Finish dinner at least 4 hours before going to bed. This gives your body enough time to digest food, avoiding putting pressure on your stomach while you sleep. If you feel hungry in the evening, choose light, easy-to-digest foods. Digest like a handful of nuts, almonds, walnuts, cashews, oils, nutrients, but not the avi stomach as small piece of fruit. Bananas, apples, pears help aid digestion without affecting sleep. A cup of warm herbal tea helps relax, soothe the digestive system without irritating the stomach. Avoid the following foods before bed. Greasy fried foods cause indigestion, easily lead to acid reflux. Foods high in sugar content cause blood sugar spikes, cause metabolic imbalance while sleeping. Caffeine and alcohol affect the nervous system and deep sleep. Remember, your body now knows. Longer works, the same as a few decades ago. By simply adjusting your evening eating habits, you can significantly reduce the risk of health problems at night, improve the quality of your sleep, and help your body really rest. Don't wait until unpleasant symptoms appear to start changing. Try it now. Tonight and feel the difference. Drinking too much water before bed seems good, but is harmful. Surely everyone has heard that drinking enough water is important to stay healthy, especially as you age, and that's true. However, there is a big difference between drinking water and drinking water properly. If you drink too much water at night, especially right before bed, you can accidentally put pressure on your bladder, disrupt your sleep, even increase your risk of falling and memory loss. Why drinking too much water at night is more dangerous than you think. Try to imagine the story of 74-year-old Amanda, who has a habit of drinking a large glass of water before going to bed because he thinks this will help his body not get dehydrated at night. At first, he didn't pay much attention, but recently, he often has to wake up 3 or 4 times a night to go to the toilet. This sleep is constantly interrupted, and in the morning he feels tired and lethargic. Worse, one time when he hurriedly got out of bed to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, he felt dizzy and almost fell and hit his head on the edge of the cupboard. The truth is that after the age of 70, the body has many changes that we do not easily recognize. The bladder is weaker and has less ability to retain water. The kidneys continue to filter fluids at night, causing the need to go to the bathroom to increase. The nervous system becomes more sensitive, making even a small amount of water in the body can stimulate the bladder, causing the feeling of needing to urinate more often. So what happens if you drink too much water before going to bed? 1. You will wake up many times during the night to go to the bathroom. Each time, your sleep is interrupted. The brain loses continuity in the recovery process, making you feel tired the next morning. 2. The risk of falling increases. Imagine you are sleeping soundly, but suddenly your bladder is full, forcing you to wake up in a semi-conscious state. Your blood pressure has not yet adjusted. Your body is not ready to move. You get out of bed too quickly and feel dizzy. You lose your balance and even fall. This is the phenomenon of postural hypotension, one of the leading causes of serious falls in the elderly, and we'll know that a fall can completely change the life of an older person. It can even be life-threatening if it causes a serious injury, such as a broken hip or a head injury. Interrupted sleep leads to memory loss. Every time you wake up in the middle of the night, the brain is triggered to know that it is morning, interrupting the production of melatonin, the hormone important for the body to enter a deep sleep state and recover over time. Poor sleep can weaken the immune system, increase blood pressure, and especially accelerate the process of memory loss. Studies show that older people with continuous interrupted sleep area higher risk of dementia because the brain does not have enough time to recover and consolidate memory. So what is the best solution? You do not need to completely cut out water intake, but adjust the time of drinking water. Reasonably drink a lot of water during the day and gradually reduce it in the evening. If you drink about 8 glasses of water a day, distribute it reasonably instead of drinking a lot in the evening. Stop drinking a lot of water at least 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. This gives your body time to process the amount of water you drink without interrupting your sleep. If you are thirsty in the evening, drink small sips instead of drinking a large glass of water at once. This helps your body absorb water slowly without putting pressure on your bladder. Avoid drinking diuretic drinks in the evening, including tea and coffee, which increase urine production. Fruit juices that are high in sugar can increase the need to go to the bathroom. Alcohol is not only a diuretic, but also disrupts sleep. Pay attention to hidden sources of water in your diet. Some foods that are high in water, such as soup, watermelon, oranges, and cucumbers, can accidentally increase your water intake without you realizing it. Make a habit of going to the bathroom before bed. This helps reduce the risk of waking up in the middle of the night to pee. If you are used to drinking a lot of water before bed, try adjusting it today. Just a small change in your water drinking habits can help. Sleep better, reduce the risk of falling, and improve overall health. Like Mr. Tuan, after changing his drinking habits, he slept more deeply, waking up less at night and feeling more refreshed in the morning. A small thing but with huge benefits. Try tonight and feel the difference. 3. Sleeping in a room that is too warm, a habit that seems pleasant but has many hidden risks when the weather turns cold. There is nothing more comfortable than curling up in a thick blanket, turning on the air conditioner and falling asleep, especially for the elderly. The feeling of warmth brings comfort and peace of mind, helping them sleep better. At least they think so. Curl up in a thick blanket, turn on the air conditioner, and fall asleep, especially for the elderly. The feeling of warmth brings comfort and peace of mind, helping them sleep better. At least they think so. However, the truth is quite the opposite. Sleeping in a room that is too warm can cause dehydration, increasing the risk of cardiovascular disease and seriously reducing sleep quality. Imagine the story of Mr. Genevieve, 74 years old, a retiree who has a habit of reading in bed before going to bed because he is afraid of the cold at night. He often sets the room temperature to 25 degrees Celsius, wears thick pajamas, and covers himself with a heavy blanket. But instead of sleeping well, he often wakes up in the middle of the night with a hot body, sweating profusely, and feeling uncomfortable. The next morning, he wakes up tired and lethargic, not feeling rested at all. What Mr. Genevieve doesn't realize is that the room temperature is too high, disrupting his sleep cycle, preventing his body from entering the deep sleep stage necessary for recovery. Why? Sleeping in a room that is too warm is dangerous after the age of 70. The human body no longer regulates its temperature as effectively as it did when you were younger. You could easily sweat to release heat or shiver to generate heat. But when this self-regulation ability is lost, it means your body can easily overheat without you even realizing when your body overheats while you sleep. Serious problems can occur when the heart has to work harder, putting pressure on the cardiovascular system. As the body temperature rises, the heart has to beat faster to try to cool the body. This inadvertently creates a huge burden on the cardiovascular system, especially for older people with a history of high blood pressure or circulatory problems. So one study found that people who sleep in an environment that is too warm may have a higher risk of heart attacks and strokes than those who sleep in a cool room. 2. The risk of dehydration while sleeping. You may not feel different, but mild dehydration can still occur when you sleep in a room that is too warm. When your body heats up, more water vapor evaporates, making the blood thicker and increase the risk of blood clots, which can lead to serious complications such as stroke or heart attack. 3. Interrupted sleep affects memory and immune system. If you ever wake up in the middle of the night feeling hot and uncomfortable, it's the body struggling to cool itself. Interrupted sleep prevents the body deep sleep, which is an important stage to help restore the immune system, strengthen memory, and regenerate energy for the new day. Studies show that older people who regularly sleep in an environment that is too warm are at high risk of memory loss, chronic insomnia, and sleep disorders. So what is the ideal room temperature for sleeping? Experts recommend that the temperature should be maintained between 15 to 19 degrees Celsius, 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit for the best sleep. If you feel this temperature is too cold, don't rush to turn up the air conditioner or put on a thick blanket. Try smarter ways to stay warm, not causing heat. How to keep the bedroom cool, but still comfortable. Use a thin, breathable cotton blanket instead of a synthetic blanket, because these types of blankets tend to retain heat and heat up the body. Wear light, airy pajamas made from sweet absorbent fabrics, such as cotton or silk. Avoid pajamas that are too thick or tight. Use a small fan or open a window to let air circulate to help keep the room cool. and reduce the risk of respiratory problems. If you feel cold, use thin blanket. Instead of turning the air conditioner up too high, a thin blanket helps keep you warm without causing heat to the body. Avoid eating too much spicy food or drinking alcohol before bed because these can stimulate the nervous system and increase body temperature. Maintain a regular bedtime routine and keep the bedroom quiet to help the body relax. Adjust your temperature naturally. If you are used to sleeping in a warm room, try adjusting the room temperature down a little each night to see how your body reacts. Many people, after making this change, have noticed that they sleep deeper, wake up with a clearer mind, and feel more energetic. Remember that your body needs deep sleep to recover, and a cool room is the key to help you achieve that. So you're ready to try a cooler sleep tonight to protect your health. Try and feel the difference. 4 bad sleeping positions, small habits, big consequences when going to bed. Most of us do not pay too much attention to sleeping position, means feeling comfortable, but after the age of 70, sleeping position is no longer simply a matter of comfort or not. It can directly affect cardiovascular health, respiratory and circulatory, MC. In fact, many elderly people unintentionally maintain a sleeping position that puts unnecessary pressure on the body every night, increasing the risk of sleep apnea, heart failure, or stroke. Why sleeping position is more important as you age after 70. The body goes through many changes that no everyone realizes. Muscles weaken, making it harder to maintain a stable position at night. Lung function declines, making deep breathing more difficult, especially if the sleeping position is not suitable. Poor blood circulation is more likely to cause blockages and increase the risk of blood clots. That's why lying in the wrong position for many hours can restrict airflow, reduce the amount of oxygen in the blood, and put pressure on important blood vessels, causing the body to function less effectively. While sleeping in the long run, this can lead to health problems, serious like snoring, sleep apnea at night. How dangerous can sleeping on your back be? Imagine the story of 76-year-old Abigail, who slept on her back for many years. Without thinking it could be harmful to her health, his wife once noticed that sometimes he stopped breathing for a few seconds at night, then suddenly gasped, thought it was just a normal sign of old age. But gradually he started waking up every morning, feeling tired, headache, and sometimes even dizzy. After going to the doctor, he found out that his sleeping position had contributed to sleep apnea, a condition in which breathing is interrupted continuously during sleep, causing the amount of oxygen in the blood to drop, putting the heart in a state of stress throughout the night. If not corrected, this can increase the risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and even sudden cardiac arrest while sleeping. The reason is that when sleeping on your back, gravity causes the tongue and soft tissues in the throat to fall back, partially blocking the airway. This makes it difficult for air to circulate, causing snoring, and in more severe cases, can lead to sleep apnea, without the patient realizing that sleeping on the right side is also not good for the heart, even if you do not have sleep apnea. Sleeping position can also affect blood circulation. Research shows that sleeping on the right side can put pressure on the heart, making blood flow less efficiently, which is especially dangerous for people with heart disease because it can cause fluid to build up in the lungs and legs, leading to congestive heart failure over time. So the question is, which sleeping position is best for health? After 70 best sleeping position for senior, experts advise that sleeping on the left side is the best option because it improves blood circulation, reduces pressure on the heart, and helps the heart pump blood more efficiently, aids digestion, especially for people with acid reflux or heat. When sleeping on the left side's acid is less likely to reflux into the esophagus, helps sleep more comfortably, reduces the risk of sleep apnea because the airway is wider than when laying on your back. How to maintain the correct sleeping position if you are not used to sleeping on your left side or frequently roll back into a bad position. Uses some of the tips to maintain a good sleeping position. Use a long body pillow to keep your body from rolling back into a supine position. Elevate your head slightly with a support pillow to help keep your airways open and reduce the risk of respiratory interruptions. Place a pillow between your knees if you have joint or spine pain. This helps align your spine properly and reduce pressure on your lower back. Use a mattress that is not too soft or to help your body maintain a good sleeping position without back pain. You may have been sleeping in the wrong position for years without even realizing it, but even a small adjustment can make a big difference to your health after changing your sleeping position. Miss Abigail noticed morning waking up more refreshed without feeling tired or having headaches like before is a simple change but has a strong impact on sleep quality and overall health. Try it tonight and you will feel the difference. Let's explore 4 seemingly harmless habits that can seriously affect the health of people over 70 years old. From eating dinner too late, drinking too much water before bed, keeping the bedroom too warm, and sleeping in the wrong position. Each of these habits can silently damage the heart quality of sleep and overall health without you even knowing it. The good news is that these risks are not unchangeable. You can completely adjust your lifestyle to improve your sleep and reduce the risk of health problems. Serious and wake up every morning with a healthier, more energetic body. Just a few small changes in your habits. At night, you can help your body recover better, strengthen your resistance, and prolong your life. Let's think about whether you are having one of these habits now. Take a moment to ask yourself if you recognize any of these habits in your daily life. Do you often wake up in the middle of the night to pee? Have you ever felt hot? Breakdown: when you sleep but don't know why. You may have been sleeping on your back for years without knowing it could be affecting your breathing and heart health. Either way, awareness is key when you recognize the problem. You can absolutely change to improve your health. Don't wait until your body shows serious warning signs to start adjusting. Health is a long journey, and small changes today are the key to a healthier future. Your challenge night: pay attention to your pre-bedtime habits and try to adjust. Just one small thing on this list could be eating dinner a little earlier to give your digestive system time to process food before bed. Cool down your room temperature to a cooler level to support deep sleep and reduce the risk of cardiovascular stress. Try switching to your left side to improve blood circulation and prevent respiratory problems. Just a small change can bring big benefits over time. Try and feel the difference from tonight. Let's share your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. In today's program, The Health of the Elderly, would like to share with you why it is said that suffering in life is a gift from heaven. The ancients said that failure is the mother of success. Failure itself is not scary. The scariest thing is that people tremble and lose all their courage before the suffering and failure in their life. There was a young man who unfortunately lost both his legs in a traffic accident. The pain was too great. Since then, his temperament has changed. He is more irritable. He refuses rehabilitation therapy and locks himself in the house. He often yells at his parents and buries his head in endless suffering. One day, he got angry and threw the entire lunch tray that his mother had worked hard to prepare onto the floor with both hands, but his mother was still patient. That day, he started to pay attention to the window of that boarding house. It was indeed just like what his mother had said. That room was brightly lit every night until late at night when it was completely turned off. It was that girl who was diligently painting. The legless boy felt extremely curious about what she looked like, what her personality was like, what other hobbies she had besides painting. Countless questions kept popping up in his mind. Then one day, he also brought out his drawing kit, which had been put aside for a long time, and began to draw the first brush strokes. His heart, which was originally closed and barren, gradually opened up. He accepted to go to the hospital for regular rehabilitation exercises and no longer yelled at his family. Smiles appeared more often on his radiant face. During his time of convalescence, he had painted many works. One day, after thinking for a long time, he mustered all his courage and brought his painting to the house across the street to look for the girl. But he rang the bell for a long time without anyone opening the door. Finally, an old man from the boarding house next door walked in. "Come out and ask. Please ask what's the matter." The young man replied, "Yes, I want to find the girl who lives in this house. This boarding house has always been empty and no one lives there." The old man said, "But not long ago, a middle-aged woman paid him a sum of money and asked him to turn on the lights every evening and wait until late at night to turn them off. The woman said that she lived in the house across the street." The young man stood there silently for a long time. It turned out that the story about the girl with a stumpy leg who painted pictures was actually made up by his mother to give him a glimmer of hope. He did not tell his mother that he knew the whole truth, and from then on, he was even more filial to his mother. He also tried to paint more pictures. Later, he became an excellent painter in this life. You can hear many similar stories like this. There was an artisan who crafted crystal with great technique. His works were exhibited abroad many times and received many big awards. This artisan also lost his legs. He said that when he was young, he was a hooligan, drunk, gambled, and took drugs. Full of bad habits, his mother cried until there were no more tears. During a caress, he had an accident, losing his leg's life. Thought there was nothing more painful than going to the toilet. The had torely on someone to help, but in the disaster there was a blessing. His legs were damaged. He also broke up with those bad and rotten friends later. He started to learn the art of making glass, both to make a living and to relieve stress. Unexpectedly, his life changed from here. He often said, if he had not lost this legs, I think my life would have been ruined long ago. Before I always cursed God for letting me lose my legs, but now I'm very grateful to him because this is probably few people have a peaceful life without storms throughout the 100 years of their lives. Life often has unexpected turns without warning. There are nights when storms still come without warning. How will you react to the suffering surely waiting? There are many peoples wept away by storms, no longer able to control their fate or vent their lives. They follow the great flow of this world and cannot get up. They live a life full of resentment, pain, and hatred until they close their eyes and die. They will also be resentful in the afterlife. But you know, God is very fair. God takes away this thing from you and will compensate you with something else. The young man and the artist in the story above may have lost their legs, but God gave them talented hands to draw beautiful pictures and create exquisite crystal objects. Even though they lack legs, their lives do not turn into despair. They have a career, a passion, and most importantly, they have joy in life. Life is full of unexpected hardships, but until the very last moment, you will discover that all the sufferings and sorrows that God brings to you are the most precious gifts. Buddhism teaches that the more people suffer, the faster they repay their karmic debts in their previous lives. The faster they repay their debts, the sooner they can be liberated. For those who practice cultivation, paying off their karmic debts quickly will result in complete enlightenment. Returning to the heavenly world is the suffering and humiliation of life. Like smoke from the bones, the mind is free from all attachments. The body and mind are light, forgetting sorrow and suffering, achieving eternal happiness, escaping the world. Thank you for accompanying us today. What have you learned from these shares? What changes do you plan to apply to your daily routine? Leave a comment below and share something that you find most useful. We always appreciate your feedback because it not only helps us better understand the needs of our viewers, but also provides great motivation to continue creating more useful content. If you find this video useful, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share to help more people know how to take care of their health and improve their quality of life. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.